Hi, and welcome to my life in sunny Central Texas. There's a little bit of really thin cloud layer, not enough to matter, and it's not going to bring the rain I was looking for. And I still keep pushing my glasses up, so I think I've got the same problem old guy carnivore Mitch has. I've lost enough weight that my glasses don't fit. That is something, y'all. When your glasses don't fit and your shoes don't fit, and you have to go get new clothes, like my best dress, at least that fits because I just got that at Christmas. I might buy myself another dress soon, just so I'll have more than one handy to wear. Odd day. Coffee 2 days in a row. It's cold. I can plunk a couple of ice cubes in it and call it iced coffee. Or I can just admit that I lounged around and got up late. Doggy, what you got on your toes? Something looks pink down there. Come here, puppy. Come here. Did you hurt your toe? You're more important than a video, baby. Let me see it. I put my phone down. Something's all red. Did you hurt it or did you step on something that was colorful? Oh, it looks like you, I don't know what you did, baby. Did you step in something that was colorful? Now, we're not going to go in. I'm just going to go over here and wash your toes off and see if I can tell what's wrong. Yeah, I know, you don't like washing anything. Okay, you're alright. Get your nose out my coffee. You're not in trouble. You just got something on your paw. I had to be a good mommy and check it. Always check right away when you think a little furry friend has injured himself. But it looks more like he's been chewing on crayons or something. He's a Chihuahua. He might be a Marine. Okay, love to all the Marines out there. You know what I mean. It's more likely that somebody stepped on a marker or a pen and he got some of that on him. But he hates to have his feet messed with. He absolutely does not mind running back up the steps and sniffing at my little cup of coffee there. He's still a little shaking. He's like, why did you mess with my feet and get it wet? We had a little struggle for a minute while I tried to figure it out. And he's definitely got something on his toenails, but it's not blood. Probably not hurt. I think they would have been crying if he was. Now there's also some pinkish purple color down here. All these leaf buds have opened and now the flower buds are forming. I might just work on keeping that blueberry alive and not worry about getting any fruit on it. Like I said, I'm not going to eat it. If I want a few berries and some yogurt or something, I've got some frozen ones. You don't need coffee. You're a Chihuahua. good Lord invented Chihuahuas so that we could see that it's possible to be go, go, go all day long without coffee. And toddlers. Toddlers and Chihuahuas. They must be Marines. Now, some toddlers and Chihuahuas are obviously infantry. They dig holes. Which is why it's why kids love little digging tools, and Chihuahuas have really out of proportion toenails to go on those tiny little hyperactive paws. And then you've got dogs like Belgian Malinois, and with a little bit of training, they are Air Force. And you've got your Labradors and Brittany Spaniels and other delightful field dogs for Navy and Coast Guard. And the guy who does all the comedy reels about different breeds of dogs, somebody link him to this, because he is so right when it comes to nailing down their personalities. But he has not done that level of these dogs are this. Chihuahuas are special forces. Or Marines. I mean, the basic Chihuahua is a Marine. He will take on anything, and he will eat. And he will get where you don't need him to go. Okay, pull my hair back a little. It is brushed today. Well, my hair is. The Chihuahua could use some more brushing. I can tell by the amount he leaves on my yoga pants. Anyone else out there doing the carnivore diet, I highly recommend the yoga pants. Workout wear that goes back to its original shape when you wash it. Because, let's face it, you can abuse any garments to the point that you can no longer wear them. But the yoga pants have kept me in long pants over the course of the winter. The sweatpants are now ridiculously huge on me. Someone's sitting here listening to one of the neighborhood roosters crowing. The ears are hardly moving, they twitch around a little bit, and the nose is going crazy. And the dog across the street is facing away from me, but he's barking at something. He must have spotted a squirrel. Oh well. We actually don't have a lot of squirrels out of town here. Possibly because of the number of dogs and cats that are out of town here. We're like way out in farming country. And modern farms really hurt biodiversity. You can't run gigantic equipment and crush everything in sight and expect biodiversity. This might be why the henbit and the dandelions and the wild carrots are growing in my yard. They can't grow in the fields. That's kind of sad. There are people in the world trying to create systems of farming that will encourage pollinators by, you create your rows so much, whatever width of, two or three runs of this piece of equipment, and then one width, I don't know how long the width is, that you leave natural. And maybe you can put flowers, maybe you can grow carrots. You know, just something that keeps the biodiversity up. And that way the mice and the voles and the burrowing owls and whatever you have in a given area has a place to be. Some of them will escape the running tractors when it's time for things to happen. I don't know how that's working out. I hope it's working out. And for the rest of us, we do mow. But I don't pull weeds. Because they are little wild carrots, and they are henbit, and they are dandelions. If it gets right down to it, dandelion roots are one of the things that substituted for coffee during the Civil War. A lot of kids don't know that. Some Southern people who were familiar with them would roast peanuts to a very burnt state and then grind them and make coffee substitute. But dandelion roots, when you're, I guess, desperate, can be cleaned, cut up, and made into a hot brew. I mean, if you're getting them anyway for the leaves or making dandelion flower wine, I don't know. I've heard of all. The leaves go in salads. I don't know if cooking them improves the taste, but I know there's a little white moth or butterfly or something over there in the clover. From the proportions, I'd say it's some kind of very pale butterfly. Almost looks like off-season butter. You know, when the milk fat isn't as yellow. But from the proportions of that critter, it's butterfly more than moth. Or it just might be one of those variants that you can't really tell. Oh, well. Yes. I keep adjusting my glasses. I'm going to have to go in and get a new pair. Something odd. The dog does not mind watering the mint or the henbit or the clover. He doesn't seem to like going to pee on the wild carrots. Weird little doggy, aren't you? Come on, buddy, you can sit by me. I'm not going to wrestle you for a look at your toes now. Because I know you weren't bleeding. And you're a good boy. Yes, all that thought about different breeds of dogs. Seriously, y'all, comment below. Tell me what your dog is, service-wise and breed-wise. Because there will always be exceptions. I think Chihuahuas are very small Marines. I saw a meme of two sharks talking to each other. And one of them looked like, you know the way manatees look if they are not deep enough and they get scars all over them from motorboats going through. First the keel hits them and then the rotor does. One of the sharks in this meme looked mangled like that. Just marks everywhere. And the other one's asking, what happened to you? And with a somewhat traumatized look on the face, the mangled shark says, "I tried to eat a chihuahua." uh, People need to remember that. They blame big dogs for being dangerous. Then they get these little needle teeth land piranhas here, and they try to show the puppy to a child, and they scoop this dog up and shove it way too close to the child's face, and then the child gets mangled. The idiot that scooped up the chihuahua and terrorized it doesn't get blamed. The dog does. The people who don't train dogs. I mean, this guy, he went to puppy classes, and he's pretty good. I call him, and he comes to me. Try to get other people in the family to understand these are his commands he's learning. He needs to work on them. He doesn't do what they say because they don't work with him. If you don't work with a dog of any size, then they're not going to treat you as their handler. That's kind of important. It's important for his safety. If he's wandering around up past the front end of the blue truck, which parks in front of the red truck, I know he's too close to the street. I call him to me. He knows I don't waste my breath calling him unless he needs to come toward me. So now, when we're outside, he'll wander around and he'll trust me to call him when I need to. Right now, I don't need to because it's not wandering around time. It's just sitting here enjoying the daytime. And as you can see, no sleeves. Grandma's plugging in that vitamin D. Take the glasses off. They're fun. They got this pinkish lavender or lavender gray or whatever on the arms. And yeah, I like them, but I don't think I can wear them again. I can wear them until I get a new pair, but it won't be a matter of just swapping out the lenses. Usually I try to get a good-looking frame, and then I can replace lenses 2 or 3 times. Oh, yeah, another helicopter. This one is traveling, looks like from the northwest to the southeast, or maybe it's going out to Austin Executive Airport. Hard to tell. But it's a small helicopter. Yes, I do like things that fly. Pollinators, kites, drones. Okay, maybe not drones. If you're supposed to be flying it somewhere and grabbing pictures and film of an event, that's fine and dandy. Some people don't respect privacy, and they deserve to have their drones come down by whatever means. And they actually push for laws to prevent anyone knocking their drones out of the air. We need to be pushing for laws that would recognize privacy again. If I choose to get on Facebook and share my life a little bit, that's my choice. that wasn't taken by force or by secrecy. Someone didn't sneak up on me and take this video. I'm choosing to do it. People used to understand that. Somebody once flew a drone over a reenactment, and a Viking reenactor took it down with like a javelin or spear or something. Good throw. Yeah, I know these things are expensive. You don't want it to be a loss. Don't fly it where it's not wanted. Now, some of the good things drones are doing is flying over fields looking for problems. When you know a drought is starting, you can use drones, the big ones that carry extra equipment, and get a good look at what temperature, the surface temperature of the ground is, and that gives you something to figure what it is below the surface or what the moisture is, and how to keep a farm productive and cost effective. When other people who are not taking advantage of available technology will have losses. If you're having a dry year, or you expect it's going to be a dry year, plant cotton or peppers. Peppers come out spicier when conditions are rougher. Now, that's assuming you have someone to sell them to. Peppers are a nightshade. I'm not eating. It's been a while since I've been crazy about nightshades. I never really have liked bell peppers. Although I'm getting where just a tiny hint of them in something doesn't churn my stomach anymore. In fact, when Anya invited me to a fancy tea last Christmas, that was interesting, and there were lots of things my mom used to eat. There was pimento cheese. Pimentos are peppers. And I did try everything. I try to be a good guest. It doesn't really fit with low-carb life, but it's kind of like Bob says, I'm an adult. I can decide if I'm going to have a piece of pie or a piece of cake or a sandwich. We're all adults. We have to decide for ourselves, which is why I encourage making your own decisions. Eat the things that make you feel better. Keep a food journal. And remember that how a food makes you feel can affect you for the next 2 days, maybe. If I was out here pulling up these wild carrots and going inside to wash them and make a white carrot salad, which could be done. I mean, this is the South. Make a carrot salad, fine chop whatever, tiny bits of stuff in it, run them through the food processor so they're shreds that are fluffy instead of getting caught in your teeth. People don't realize that carrot salad can be tasty, but it's way too carby. Things I don't eat anymore. Aww. He's a good dog over there. He's trying to alert. He's trying to tell somebody These are the conditions. Somebody come take care of it. I think there's a stray critter in the back. I saw something moving. Oh, cats. Yeah. Cats are definitely the enemy. I mean, I have one, but I used to have a corner lot about a block away from a school. Nice long lot. And there was a pretty big outbuilding. I mean, we called it a shed, but it had power, so that's where the laundry machines were. Yay, dryer. Gotta have a dryer. I had a post for a clothesline, but we didn't much use that. Should have. But the dryer was out in the little outbuilding that could have easily been remade into a tiny house. It had that much room in it. But where's I going with this? Yeah, there was cats being evil. There was a peach tree very near to this small building. And we actually got fruit from it a couple times, so that was cool. Usually the last freeze would come after the blossoms, so we would lose every bit of potential peaches on it, or the birds would go nuts, eating it all up. But the area cats knew exactly how long that dog's chain was. And they would go sit under the peach tree, scare the birds for me a little bit, and they would sit there looking at the dog, pulling for all he was worth, trying to break either the chain or his collar and get that cat. Sorry, a little bit raspy still. I am still recovering from smoker voice, I guess. It's been a while since I quit, but every now and then I get raspy. Yes, puppy. Do I need investigated? He was staring at my face for a minute. What a good dog. What was that red you had on your toes, buddy? Were you digging up crayons you had saved? I don't know. You need to go some more? It was just outside time. I wish he spoke English. I don't think they're capable of it. Oh, for one thing, that brain the size of a pecan business would be interfering, but and many people who love to pick on Marines would say that that might interfere. But I only have a couple of Marines I pick on because I trust them not to kill me. The rest of them out there, I don't know them. They got no reason to care about me. I never gave them jars of jam. For the most part, I like Marines. Oh, wow. It is so warm today. I'm not sure how warm, but it'll just keep going up and up until it's time for the sun to start going down. But it is a really sweet day. I see a lot of trees are getting more than just a little haze of green on them. I hope people are smart enough to start taking down piece by piece the ones that didn't make it through the winter. I mean, cut off large limbs and I think people used to have to do that with hand tools. You cut off large limbs that are pretty well situated and will fall straight down. Then you can tie a rope to something that you're as far up as you can get. Put slightest tension, just slight tension on it, and then cut off a big chunk, and it will fall in the direction of the tension. And then you tie off another piece, put just the slightest tension on it, and you could be tying it off. If it's not going to hit a building, you're safe. If it's not going to land on your car, it's good. Do this before it breaks and hits a building or hits your car anyway. Too many people don't maintain their trees. If you have cracking limbs, take them out. If you have a tree, oh, there's another butterfly. If you have, yeah, shiny. Squirrel. I'm not calling you a squirrel, buddy. You're my dog. You're my dog. He's trying to be a good dog. He's keeping an eye on the whole neighborhood. He's looking and sniffing and listening. And then you got German Shepherds, and if they don't have their ears and tail cut, and they got that whole ear involved in listening. Big old ears. I like big ears. I like them floppy. I like them pointed. Just don't like them cut. There is no need to modify a dog that much. People do it because they're vain enough to put their desire for a dog to look that way ahead of the comfort and function. The entire cup of the ear is involved in their hearing, and the little hairs inside there catch the vibrations of the sounds. It's how they're supposed to be. And their tails are involved in balance when running. If you're so vain that you have to mutilate a dog before you'll be happy owning it, I'd be just happy for you to never have a dog. Sometimes the excuse was, oh, the breeder does that before we get them. Well, maybe you need to find a breeder that's willing to get you a pup that's not mutilated. Now, with a kid, you can make decisions for them before they're old enough to. That sinew or connection underneath the tongue, if it comes too far forward and they're not going to learn to speak correctly, that can be snipped when they're young enough not to remember, for one thing, and then their learning to speak will be absolutely normal for them after it is healed. And that's one of the decisions adults have to make. Like getting the ears pierced, leave that. It may turn out that you've got a kid that really doesn't care to be wearing jewelry all the time. and my daughter asked to have her ears pierced, I said, sure. It's a minor enough thing, and if she didn't like it, or if the earrings were causing her to break out, or, rub a sore spot on her neck, you never know what'll happen. But you can always take it out and let it close up. Some people are so against having somebody get a piercing that they'll have horrible fights and arguments about it. Not worth it. They'll just get it done when they move out when they're 18. Of course, by that point, they might also get a dozen tattoos. Not your choice, If they're an adult and they have the money for it, then make sure they at least understand going to a shop with an autoclave and not just their friend with most of the equipment. Somebody gave one of my nieces some tattooing equipment. I don't think it included an autoclave. That's what you use to sterilize stuff. In the heavy duty, you could use this to set up a field hospital kind of way. Sometimes people make bad decisions. But it's still their decision to make. I've got a patch of mint. It's tiny. My daughter's been trying to eradicate it. I'm wondering if I should pick it all off down to ground level and make plans to do a mint jelly. Probably not. I'll let her have all the fun of eradicating it if she wants to try. But it's in the environment now, and I am sure it will never be gotten completely rid of. I used to have it all around the front step, under the front step, and along the edge of the decking. And there's some coming up in the others, inside the skirting. Any place there's enough damage for sunlight to hit it, it will grow. I have occasionally, I don't know how many kids have picked at it, but I had a woman whose mother was visiting her. They were just walking, walking to walk. And she came and tapped on the door and said that, and she spoke English, right? I don't think her mother did. But she let me know that her mother had seen mint and wanted to pick some. Because she liked mint. She's going to make mint tea out of it. It's fine and dandy. I don't know if they had a bag to put it in or if they just cut stems. But absolutely, mint is another one of those forgeable things. If somebody sees my yard and wants to claim as many of these tiny wild carrots as they can find, and every stem of mint they can reach, I'm cool with that. And I am sure there will be more carrots and more mint further along in time. right now the back of the red Dodge, where it's overhanging some of the grass and plants next to the parking space, is kind of shielding some wild carrots that I can see over there, and whatever kind of grass that is that has a seed head sticking up, but it's not the goat head, so I don't care. I'm all for eradicating goat heads when possible, because those hurt. And they hurt little children and dogs and cats. Yes, cats are evil. Yes, they are. Puppy's right. He's on the move again. I don't know what he's doing. But he's a good boy. If I seem to spend a lot of time not focusing on my screen, it's because focusing away from my screen is good for eye health. That's why I look over there at the neighbor's dog and beyond to see what he's looking at, or I turn my head and look at helicopters and small aircraft, sometimes large aircraft. Look down the street, see if roosters are wandering around loose again. Little dog, are you looking for snacks? It's hard to tell sometimes. Do you want to go in? I just heard what sounded like trash being knocked out of a trash bin. I wonder if the cat I saw earlier is making trouble. How you doing, little dog? We gotta get done with this. I have rambled and rambled and rambled and put words to my thoughts. But I've continued on the theme of biodiversity. And that's an important theme, especially if you're going to buy acres somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Part of why so much land is only suitable for cattle is because we've destroyed so much biodiversity that the only thing that can live on this or that stretch of land is cattle that are eating every weed and stem of grass they can find. If you have some place, you have some acres in the middle of nowhere, something you can do, if you can get yourself separated from what would be the obvious, put the residents where you will reside on this acreage, where it is further upwind than the bulk of the property. And then you find some place that maybe does riding lessons for kids or for anybody, or boards horses or something, and make a contract with them to bring what comes out of the stable to your property and fill every crack and dry soil with these stable sweepings. Because this is a good kind of stable sweepings. Usually when I say stable sweepings, I'm thinking about meta-analysis of these studies. A crap study which is swept together with 27 other crap studies makes a gigantic pile of crap. It does not make it more meaningful unless you're saying, look at all this shit we've managed to accumulate. And that's the kind of studies the doctor tried to use to tell me I should be on a statin. Statins tend to increase CAC scores. They also increase diabetes, and they also increase dementia. Congrats, here, take this. Oh, hell no. That was my decision, and I'm sticking to it. But if you've got soil you want to restore and be able to run just a few cow-calf pairs to provide for meat for yourself or others, get some of what's available out there. And put it on the ground, and as far away from your nose as you can, of course. You will occasionally need a lawn tractor or something to be pushing it around so that it will break down. Especially if you don't already have a cadre of animals that will stomp it into the ground for you. But if the soil gets dry and opens up into cracks, put it down those cracks. That way the worms can get it sooner. As far as worms go, if an area is as dead as can be, you get these other things happening. You buy a couple of containers of fishing worms. And in the most conducive places, if you find a place that doesn't dry out as fast as the rest of the ground, that's where you're going to put your worms. Put whatever kind of bagged mulch, or have the neighbors bring over any vegetables they're not mulching. If they're throwing away plant matter, except for goat heads, those should just be burned. But all this stuff can be used to improve soil. Now, my daughter's not carnivore, but she still eats vegetables. My yard is not the mess of sand and goat heads it used to be, but I don't eat vegetables. I did used to send my son out to rake up after that other dog, and we used to just use the rake to fling it all into the leach field. But we had a particularly bad drought for a while. He started shoving it down those cracks in the ground. After a good rain, those will close up, but it gives them the right place to break down. Oh, what up, puppy dog? He's like getting himself as close to me as he can for a minute. What up, buddy? I'm sitting at the top of the steps, and my feet are down a ways. A thing he has trouble duplicating because he's got these little short legs. Short legs. Chihuahua life, what can I say? Yeah, you Chihuahua. Hate to break it to you, buddy, but you're adopted. Yeah. He's just being a good boy up and down the steps. I think he's wondering why I haven't gone in yet. I'm kind of wondering why I haven't gone in yet. But the sun feels good. And the bright yellow dandelions and purple henbit and the intense pink of the new buds on the blueberry. It's all part of the biodiversity. The little butterflies. It is really a beautiful day, but I really have to go in and think about food because this is one of the work from home days for Loki. He eats better at home than he does when he's out because what I buy, yeah, I'm pushing like I gotta push my glasses up because I'm so used to pushing my glasses up, but also there's a little bit of sweating happening. But yes, I plan for eating at home. When you go out, you don't know what you're going to have. Except that it might be fajitas, because you can get a good serving of beef without sugar. The seasoning for fajitas is typically salt and pepper. Maybe a little bit of cayenne if you want it. Or some chili powder. Yeah, I know. Anything that's peppers is nightshades. I did not know that tobacco is a nightshade. It's related to all the tomatoes and potatoes and peppers that I'm already not eating. But now I'm also glad I'm not smoking it. There are some things that just don't belong in your body in any amount. And with the arthritis pains, and I woke up working this thumb, and my right knee is clicking terribly because I sampled the wines before I bought them. I know, I don't need alcohol either. But if we're going to have some when we're off on vacation, I mean, I wanted to get the sampling done before I buy it. So I bought 3 at the winery on the square in Georgetown. They have some really good wines. And they have some balsamic vinegars and flavored vinegars and at one point I mentioned, if y'all are making all this wine, another thing you could do is make grapeseed oil for the people who want it. Now, it's still a seed oil, so I'm not going to want it. But I mention it just by way of, this is something that might increase your business. And she looked at me at that time like, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah. The seeds and skins are typically discarded, but grapeseed oil is supposed to be a good oil. It's got a high burn point, so it doesn't smoke as easy. And some people like it for frying. Yeah, definitely getting sweaty out here. Breaking a sweat is a good thing. It means things in your body are working. Now, even though I've been sitting here for most of an hour, I guarantee you I'm not burning. Now, I may get a little flush on a hot day, but that's not sunburn. When I ate wrong, I used to occasionally get sunburn. When we were eating everything wrong all the time, Loki would get sunburn just about all the time. That's what happens if you're Scots, Irish, and Swedish. Some things you can't get away from. Now, he had recently done a lot of work under the hood on the '01 Ram. And he was out all day, 2 days in a row, he didn't sunburn. Now this is a benefit many people on carnivore diet are discovering, so much so that somebody who was looking for information actually asked, how soon would I expect that to happen? We don't know. It's just something we have slowly, over time, noticed. I just got something on my screen because I had my thumb on it. Now I'm getting more sun than I used to because I come out with the little doggy instead of waiting out the door. And I sit on the steps. Now he's got a little patch of shade, but I'm getting the sun on my skin. I'm pushing my hair around so I'll get some sun right where I have an eczema breakout trying to happen. I know I do, because if I reach back there with some moisturizer to put on this itchy area, I can feel the bumps in the skin trying to come up. But it is still time to go in. So I will be cooking, and y'all will be living your lives. Do something good. Think about things that you have maybe always thought didn't apply to you, and decide about things you want to decide about. If you decide you want to leave dandelions in your lawn, that's your business. Unless you live in an HOA that's like super nosy into everyone's business, in which case leave them in the backyard. Hi, puppy. He's looking happy. He's looking where my feet are, kind of moving the step and the board squeaks. But he looks comfortable and happy. Now, considering we had found him near death when he was a tiny little thing, not even half grown, it has taken a long time to get to the point that he's comfortable being outside. And we still have puppy pee pads that go on the floor in the back hallway because he can't make it through the night. But now he's excited to go outside. And 5:30 in the morning, he'll be running across us, across our legs, across our bodies, or running from Loki's feet up onto his chest to go, "It's time to get up, Daddy. Get up and let me go out." Crazy little dog. Now he still wants someone to come out with him, and that's reasonable. He's small, so he's at risk. A medium owl or hawk could carry him off. And there's still coyotes and things like that to be wary of. And there are, as I've mentioned, untrained dogs in the area. We were outside one day when someone's untrained big dog was invading people's yards and being told to scat. And at some point it grabbed someone else's little dog. We didn't have this guy then. And Loki and another man who was getting some work done on his vehicle, they grabbed a tire tool and something else because they heard the little dog screaming. That thing was going to eat it. And a tire tool is actually a great way to make sure he can't complete the bite. You're just carrying something off, you're not eating it yet. So they went and they rescued the little dog, which promptly ran off, and I hope it didn't have any internal injuries from that. The big dog ran to his owner for protection. His owner was made to understand that that behavior would not be tolerated. Haven't seen that one carrying off little dogs anymore. He probably got rid of it. I don't know. Currently, there has been a Boston Terrier running around loose. Looks like he's starving. This is not a good situation. Now, I don't just want to tie him up in my yard because someone will think he's mine, or that I'm trying to keep him or steal him or whatever. It is a very popular breed, though. And it is sad that someone will get such a popular breed that has so much promise and not train it to stay home in its own yard and take proper care of it. I told a woman I know about it. I mean, maybe his body conformation is not perfect. Skeletally, he looks okay. Maybe it's his markings that are not perfect, but he's still what he is. A very friendly breed, wandering around trying to find someone to take care of him. I've already got a dog. My dog is not thrilled to have this other dog even in the yard. It's okay, buddy. Mom and dog gonna keep the other dog. I might have to call animal control to get him, because if they have that breed in the shelter, they'll probably find him a home pretty quick. Especially if he's the friendly sort that goes wandering up to people instead of cowering away from them, which is sadly too many traumatized shelter dwellers already. But eat something you should eat. Think about things that maybe would not have applied to you previously. Get your mind working while you still have it. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you got such a cute little nose. If we have functionality in our bodies and brains, then we're doing better than a lot of people. Do something to protect that functionality, and you're doing better than a lot of people. And insist on having, drooling is a problem since the TIA, but insist on having conversations with people. They all want to plug into their devices. But you've got to learn to put your words and thoughts together. That's why I spend so much time rambling on into my device. But do what you can. And when society suffers under the weight of so many people that we're all just struggling to pay the taxes and still maybe take care of our own household, then we will understand some of the things that contributed to previous declines in society. We're already struggling under the weight of a burdensome government and crime levels we should not have to put up with, which is why I live in a state where I am not required to retreat. We were talking about this recently, a friend and I, and one of the martial arts instructors, and my friend's daughters are small. I mean, one is a little girl and one is a very short teenager who's not really carrying a purse yet, but I mentioned the possibility of a dummy wallet. Put it in the obvious pocket where wallets go. For most people, that's your right hip pocket. And if you have to, you throw it so somebody will go get it. And that gives you a chance to start getting away from them. Little girl, little teenager is going to be driving soon. And she will need something for her ID, student ID, driver's license, all the usual rigmarole. And people will expect a person to have just one wallet. Little girl is also a black belt, but she's so shy she doesn't even want to order for herself at a restaurant. She was being watched by a friend of the parents one evening, and they were planning where to get some dinner after the lessons. And she's like, "Don't make me order for myself. Please don't make me order for myself." Girl, if you feel that way, that's exactly why you should. You know, they need you to order so that they know they're getting you exactly what you want. Meanwhile, her younger sibling was just going, "I want steak." She wanted to go to Chili's. Yes, puppy, I'll go in now. Take care of yourselves. Do things that are right for you. And that might involve moving to Texas or moving to New Zealand or Mongolia, whatever it is that works for you. Make your life be what you need it to be and make it healthy. Grandma loves you. Bye-bye.